Hello. Hello, testing. Hello. Okay, let's start. A very good evening to all of you. I'm so glad to be back here again in this forum and to be conducting this masterclass, How to Choose the Right Career Path. That's always been a very tricky and interesting question for many of us, if not most of us. And I think those who had the answer who get the answer very easily, I think are really extremely lucky. I've not been one of those. I've spent many years trying to figure out what would be the right career path for me. What is that one thing which, as I keep growing and as I get to old age, and I can look back and say, okay, I'm so glad that this is, I spent my life doing this. So, so there are a lot of aspects to that, right? So, but before I get into that, let me just give a brief introduction about myself. My name is Gauri Sinha. I have about 25 years experience post my studies, which is I did a graduation in college. I graduated from Delhi University in mathematics honors. Then I went on to do a PGDM in XLR, management in human resource. But from campus, I took up a IT job. So that's like as one of the most different choice as it could get. I'll come back to that in a little while later. And so I worked for a while in the IT stream. Then I moved on to the learning and development area. And for the last 10 years, I've been in this field. So the reason why I chose IT at the time, even though I had graduated in HR from a premium institute, which is very well known for HR, was that at that time IT was booming. IT was the in thing. This was a long time ago. And in my family, I had people who had gone into that sector and are doing very well. And I thought this is the area to be in. So I don't know how many of you in the audience are fresh out of college, fresh from PG, etc. At that time, I put very little thought to what is my interest, right? Or what is it I really care about? It was just what is the nice thing to do, or what is the different thing to do? What is something that looks exciting, sounds exciting. So after working in the IT strategy, development, strategy, consulting for quite a few years, I realized that it is just not the area in which I'm either excelling, nor am I very interested in or very passionate about. Passionate is a very far cry I wasn't too interested. While I had the values around, taking my responsibilities seriously and giving it my best, but that is not enough to really make you or help you learn more and more in the field that you are in. That's not enough to help you grow further in the field that you are in. So that's when, after about 10 years in that, then I took a break. I went and worked in an NGO for a couple of years. I was at home for a couple of years, figuring out what to do next. That's when I engaged in this, or came across this entire field of learning and development, starting with my own personal development. And I learned and experienced how powerful it can be for individuals, for teams, for organizations, when we work with them in developing the people. And for the last 10 years, that has been my area. So I'm a certified facilitator and a coach, and I have been working on my own for a while in the L&D area. But that's I started in the children's space. But at that time, that again, the intersection of the area that interested me and the people that I wanted to work with. Very interestingly, I realized in hindsight that it's because I had young children myself, and they were a large part of my mind space and focus was around them. Hence, I really wanted to do something with all that expertise, knowledge, and learning I had gathered in the space of how people develop, how human beings learn, and what are the things that enable us, what are the things that derail us from learning, what is the kind of conditions we need, etc. I wanted to use that for helping children to learn better. Right, so I started my own venture in the in children's education space. I ran it for a while. Then I realized that that just that is not enough. In fact, so I'm going to come back to this example again when I share with you and a framework. It's not entirely my own framework. I have read about it somewhere also, but it completely resonates with me. So I'm going to use this example when I share with you the framework in terms of choosing a career path. One of the frameworks. So I closed that business. Then I went back to corporate in the learning and development space. I worked for a while. Then I realized that, having worked on my own and looking at the kind of role I was doing, I realized I could do that for myself. And I really wanted to start something for myself. So that I think 1, 2, 3. That was the fifth. There's a fifth, phase of my career. Right. I realized that now it's not. I wanted to create an institution. I wanted to create something by myself, and not just work in something somebody else has created. Hence, I quit my job. I spent a year looking at what are the ideas that I have. What can I do? What is the area I want to work in? I knew the area in leadership development, learning development, people development. What is the offering that I want to bring forth? And last year I launched Crescent, which is a company which focuses on leadership development. It's very specifically helping leaders at all levels, first-time leaders to middle managers to senior leadership, to help them developing effective leadership practices that help them to lead themselves better, to lead their team better, and to help lead the organization better. So this is a brief introduction about me. I wanted to share with you, I don't know if any questions are there yet, etc. But before that, I wanted to share with you 2, 3 points around how do you look at, how to choose the right career path, especially from my perspective, right? I'm not, there are of course lots of perspective and factors that will go into choosing the career path. But here is something that I have found it useful. So let me get to that. So let me get to that interesting framework that I told you about, right? So a career, this is something I read somewhere, right? So anything we do in life, especially if you're looking at choosing a career where we think that we would like to spend a few years of our life, and in that process grow ourselves, develop ourselves. There are three things that the sweet spot, as they call it, comes at the intersection of three aspects. One is the interest in the original framework from which I read about this, and which I'm to. It's given as passion, but I find that word very daunting because I didn't know what my passion is or was. Right, even when I chose and launched this company, all I knew is that I was very interested and very energized and hugely motivated and hugely fulfilled by helping people grow themselves. I don't know if that is what I want to call it as a passion. To me, the word doesn't sound right. So I'm replacing that. I'm using the word interest. So one aspect is if you imagine a circle of where your interest lies, something that gives you energy, that motivates you, that when you get up in the morning, you feel like, yes, the rest of the day I can engage in this one. The second aspect, if you can imagine a second circle, is around financial sustainability of that area that you are working in, something that gives you financial independence. In terms of whatever is the level that you are looking at and whatever is the amount of money you're looking to earn, that could vary for different people depending on their circumstances, their compulsion, their needs, etc., and their capabilities and the current where they are in life, right? So the financial independence. So is it making it worthwhile? Is it giving you a certain independence? The third circle, if you call it, is, if you can imagine that, is the purpose. Many of you might have heard many people talking about finding the purpose in life, right? But it becomes very crucial, especially on a long-term basis. It doesn't matter on a short-term basis if you're looking at 1 year, 2 year, but on a long-term basis, it's very important that the work that you're doing has a purpose, has some meaning to yourself, right? The purpose and meaning, true purpose and meaning, and you'll actually feel that if the work you're doing is helping some other human beings, helping the society, helping any kind of an ecosystem to be better. If it is in service, if it is serving somebody or something, then you will find that there is a meaning to your job. So the intersection of these three circles, one, where your interest is, two, where you find a certain financial independence as per, as I said, whatever is the current situation you're in, and third, if there is some purpose or meaning you can find to what you are doing. If there is a more than that, I have to do the job every day and get this money. The sweet spot of the intersection of these three, you would find the most energizing options for yourself as a career choices. Now, how do you find what is there within that sweet spot? There comes the next principle that I would like to, not really principle, the next thought process that I hold. I really think that it's important to try diverse things. Right? It's especially early in the career, when you're fresh out of college, fresh out of job, 3-4 years of experience. It is way easier and way more exciting to try new things, to go into new areas and try out new career paths. If you know that there are 3-4 areas that you're interested in, you could spend a few years in each of that, develop your skills and test yourself, test the environment, test the as I said, the purpose, the financial return, etc. in that area for yourself, and in that process also gain a very wide variety of experience, and you also develop different sets of muscles by working in different roles and in different areas. Why is this important? It's because later on, as you become more senior in the organization or as yourself or in your life, and you're looking at as a senior resource, as a senior professional, the diverse set of experience really comes together for you. So even as a society, the Western societies has always been much more open to diverse backgrounds. India, unfortunately, not there yet. I mean, not even near there yet. But I do see a certain sense of more openness happening in the last few years, more acceptance and more welcoming of diversity of experience, not in just in terms of the diversity as standardly referred to, but in I'll just come back to that. I just had to pause a bit here. I'm just looking at the questions. I'm just opening the document. Just give me a second. Hello. Hello. Yeah, I got a feedback that I'm not audible. I don't know if it has become it's become better now. I'm speaking a little louder. Is that better? Hello. Yeah. Okay. I was on this question. I want to become a stylist just the way you have celebrity stylist, how it is, and do we need hi-fi contact? So I will get back to the earlier question, which I believe the audience could not hear after I take this up. So no, I don't think it's about contacts. If you are interested in that area and you seem to be pretty clear, which is great, and you want to become a stylist, of course you enroll yourself into a good course, right? In fact, the sponsor or one of the sponsors of this session, I think Fair and Lovely, organizers of the session, not really a sponsor, Fair and Lovely, they have this fantastic career foundation. When I came to know, when I was invited for this masterclass, and then I saw the details, the organizers of SHEROES and Fair and Lovely, and I went to their site to take a look, and I saw they have such a wide variety of courses, across so many areas, right from science to engineering to medical to arts and to vocational courses. A lot of them they have. And I found the site actually very comprehensive. Also, they help you take a interest check. They have online tests. They have the course, and they have tied up with great partners. I remember seeing edX, NIT, etc. as partners. So yes, please do enroll for a course if that's what you want to be, and most importantly, give your 100% to that and keep excelling yourself as a stylist. If you want to be a celebrity stylist, you have to be of that care. Make yourself into that caliber that celebrities will start noticing you and want to work with you, right? So I would say that, yeah, of course, you get a professional degree. That is very important. You learn the technical skills. And alongside that, most importantly, is the attitude that you bring to your job. The attitude of constantly learning, constantly keeping your clients in mind and working for their benefit and constantly improving yourself, right? That's what I would say. I'm just going to go back to the earlier question, which was about that everyone keeps saying follow your passion, but I don't have any how to develop one now. So as I said, I was already talked about it a little earlier when I was giving my intro. As part of that, even I didn't know what my passion was. I didn't know what is it that I'm supposed to be doing for a long time, about 12 to 13 years into my career. But as I kept doing different things, I realized that, so as if somebody has joined late, I'm a learning and development professional. I'm a facilitator, a coach, and I just love working with people, including myself, and helping myself to improve and helping the people to improve. Constantly work on myself also, and of course, the nature of my work is that I work with leaders across in organizations across different levels and helping them to become more effective leaders, right? So when I realized that this is an area that really interests me and energizes me, that's when I realized that this is my passion, as people call it, right? Otherwise, I didn't know that myself. So you just have to keep trying different things. If you don't know, it's perfectly okay. And in fact, when I was talking about that, what I shared was diverse experiences would really help to add on to your perspective, your, the outlook, the kind of depth and perspective you bring to issues later on in life as you become more senior. So if you don't know what your passion is, I would suggest take the opportunity that is currently there for you, work with that, give your 100%, learn, then move on and try something new. It's easier to do that in the early stages of your career. For the first 8-10 years, you can explore different roles and in different industries. The West has always been very welcoming of diverse experience, but in India, we've been pretty closed. People have jumped from one role to another in 2 years, 3 years. Earlier, the recruiter used to frown upon such a resume. But not anymore. I'm happy to say we have started moving, right? So people have started recognizing that diverse experience brings in the kind of perspective, kind of different thinking that is required in this complex world right now that it is. So I hope that helps you. So try different, work for a year, 2 years in different areas, in different roles, and I'm sure you would find that something that where you feel, yes, this is what makes me get up in the morning and say, oh, I'd love to go to work, and I like spending my day like that, and then hopefully you would find that. Yeah, I think my interests keep changing. How to stick to one? I think I've just answered that. If you keep changing, you just follow that interest and do things. After a while, I think you will find out which is the area that you want to spend time upon. And as you become senior, these different experiences will help you. Meryl has a question. I often meet young girls who base their career decision on marks and ability to get into a college. They have not really found the space to think beyond. How can we instill a sense of curiosity or exploration in them? As things get competitive, there is this race to compete for the same roles, profiles, and courses. And this results in a kind of disillusionment as things progress. Absolutely. I completely understand that, it's one of my constant heartache that our society is so marks-driven, and and in terms of competition is not bad. I don't think that's an issue. But what you talked about is that the decisions are based on marks and ability to get into a good college, right? And your question is around, they have not really thought beyond that, and how can they explore other options? Two aspects to this, right? One aspect is, I don't know how much influence, what is your role vis-a-vis the girls that you're talking about, whether are you in a position to influence them or orchestrate experiences for them. So if you are in a school or in a I'm presuming, or in an institute where you have girls, you have some role to play in there. Then one is to expose them to opportunities, right? So as educational institutions, what institutions can do is to create many different diverse opportunities for the students to engage in girls or boys, and hence help them develop that sense of curiosity and awareness. Okay, that is one thing that's something that can be done. The second, again, it's related depending on the role that you have. vis-a-vis is to have meaningful conversations with them. The sense of curiosity comes when they are shown that they can think beyond, right? So when somebody takes an interest in them and sits down with them and spends some time, asking about their interest, asking very specific, good questions. In coaching, we say that a good coach is all about how good a question the person, the coach asks. So it's all about asking good questions, great questions. So ask them questions that will help them to think and look into themselves more, reflect a little more, and hence then the thought process and the process of questioning and curiosity will start happening. So these are two things that you could try out. Chandani is asking, a friend of mine is in a job she doesn't like and is finding it difficult to let go of her financial stability and start over. What advice can one give in such a situation? Yeah, it is a tricky question, and I can understand, what you may be maybe feeling a little helpless and what to say, because financial stability is one of the basic needs, right? We cannot really tell people, it's okay, you will fend for yourself, something will happen, so you can let go of the job. We can't say that. That's very important. So, but however, uh, nothing is impossible. So, if while she's holding the current job, there are numerous things she could do to explore what is the other areas she's interested in, and also get herself skilled in, right? There are various forums like that, where she can do different courses. I don't know if I was audible at that time when I was talking about one of the co-organizers of this event, of this session, Fair and Lovely Career Foundation. They have, I think, about 20 or 2022 courses in 2022 different subjects. They have a huge number of courses they offer with great partners. And one of them is edX, which is a MOOC. It's a massive online. So she could take up, do those different courses in her off time, in the time that she has, in weekends. If she's really keen to change her career path, right? And obviously she can't let go of the current one. She needs the finance. Then she can skill herself in an area where she is interested in, or she thinks she's interested in, attend courses, explore those areas, and see if this is something that she's wants to get into. Once she gets some kind of capability or technical skills and a certain kind of certification, then she could go out and look for jobs in that area. So net, the advice that I think you can give her is that if she is in a situation which she is not happy in, and she wants to move away, right? And there are certain things that is compulsion is holding back, then why not do the things within that which will help her to move, right? It has to come from, if she wants to make a movement, she needs to put in the effort. There's no other two ways about that, right? There is no magic wand that will suddenly give her a job in the area of interest, even though she doesn't have that. If she doesn't have the the required background for it, she needs to put in effort. She needs to start working towards that, and the sooner the better. So if you start working towards gaining skills in an area what she may be interested in, then you can look for a job in that area. So that's the only way out, I see. So Sakshi is asking, "Hi Gauri, hope you're having a good day." Yes, very much. I'm so happy to be here, talking to all of you, though I can't see any of you. I wanted to know which degree is better, an MBA or an MIM? Also, is it okay if I have no experience? I would see the better or worse of any degree is very relative, right? That question is only answered by whether what is the where do you see yourself, right? So and it also depends on the institute from which you would do the course. If the institute is something that is helping you truly learn, it is a good institute with good faculty, then that would give you a better growth and a better learning than some other institute which is offering the other degree, but it doesn't have any great resources or facility. So one of the ways you could test, I don't know which are the institutes you are considering for either an MBA or an MIM. If you have a shortlist, you could do a research around that, see, look at the alumni who have passed from that institute, where they are, where they are placed. Because obviously, I assume you're asking this from a career point of view, what is a career move and what would be a better. So look at the alumni profile, see where they are placed. And as to okay, if you have no experience, I think it entirely depends on the institute's admission policies and admission criteria that they follow. That you need to find out. So that way, it's a good idea to see how the alumni of the shortlisted institutes are, where they are, etc. And in terms of the interest, I think you go through the syllabus. You go through both the syllabus, see what they offer, see what's the kind of learning, look at the faculty, go and look at the institutes, tour the institute, see what is the kind of sense of the environment you are getting. I think that would help you decide. Namita asks, a lot of working women in large corporations struggle to find their career path or set long-term goals for themselves or have specific ambitions. Why do you think that is? How can they get it? Excellent question again. Why do I think it is? I can give you my, what my take on it. I don't know whether it's, obviously it may not be universally applicable, and not all women may agree with that. I think it's because women have or feel that we have multi-dimensional responsibilities to shoulder, and we don't know how these are going to evolve. So depending on what is the stage of career the set of women that you are talking about, you are referring to are in, we don't know how these responsibilities are going to evolve. So if you're unmarried, you may feel, sometime in future I may get married, and society has majority. It says that the woman is the one who moves. Though I have seen a lot of cases where the other also happen. The husband moves while the wife is working up. Once they get married, which is also fine. It's a more career-based, objective decision rather than a gender-based decision. That's the woman who will move, right? So that could be one uncertainty factor. Or if you're married and then I may have kids, I don't know what time I will, which year we may have, what will happen. You don't know whether you have support. How will you raise the kids? Will you get a good support system around us or not? So if there is no pull towards no pull in terms of having an ambition or having a drive or a purpose that I need to create this for myself as Gauri or as Namita, that the human being that I am, this is what I want to be doing in life, right? If there is no pull from that factor, then we tend to get pulled by the various other roles that we adopt, right? As a mother, as a spouse, as a daughter, as a daughter-in-law, etc., etc. Various things could be. So we don't know where that is all going to take us. And because we don't have that one pull that as Gauri or as Namita, this is what I want to do, all these other roles, the demands of the roles take over or take predominance, I would say. Hence, it's very difficult for us to set a long-term or a specific goal. This is my take on this. But if I am serious that, if I look at myself as a human being beyond the roles that I carry out, each of us who are born on this earth, as we grow, we demonstrate or we play a lot of roles. But these are all roles imposed by the society. Some we take up very willingly, very happily, very joyously. Some we are okay with, some we don't really like, but we go along, right? But that's not a human being, right? The us that we are, it's irrespective of gender. There is something, that purpose that we want to find, or there's some meaning we want to make out of our life. Something that is core to us, that we want to do. And that could get tied to any role, right? I'm not even saying that, that core purpose, meaning, that joy, doesn't necessarily have to get tied to a workplace role. Even workplace is a role. So it could get tied to a workplace role, it could get tied to a societal role, it could get tied to a familial role, it could be anything. But when we find that out, then that takes predominance. In the lack of that, I think that's the reason why many women struggle to set long-term, specific goals for their career, if they don't have a predominant organizational role that they see themselves playing. Shraddha, what if I want to become something, but the vacancy for that post is not available much, just because I'm a fresher? I am reading this as that you want to pick up a role, you want to take up a role which is not available to you, offered to you, because you are a fresher and you are not equipped for that role, right? I'm going to repeat quite a bit of what I said earlier. If that role is what you really want to occupy, then obviously you have to skill yourself for it. Right? You have to put in that sweat and time and effort in making yourself capable for it. And it won't happen overnight. So if you're a fresher and there's something you want to role you want to go towards, and that role requires a year of learning, 2 years of learning, you have to put that in. You just have to be patient. But in that 2 years, you have to work and add on to yourself the capabilities that you know are required for that role. If you don't know that, go and talk to that, whatever the vacancy is, go and talk to the manager of that role, where the vacancy is. Ask him or her, what do they expect from a person in that role? Write it down. Ask for what are the technical skills you want from that person in that role? What are the behavioral skills you want? What are the kind of attitude you want? How does that role impact the organization? What is it they want the role to deliver? Understand those and start building those capabilities and skills in yourself, both from the technical point of view and also from the behavioral and attitude and the what is very loosely termed as soft skills. I hate that term, but yeah, in the terms of what are the things that you need to be good at, right? To become good at, to be able to do justice to that role. So do that and see the time, and then you go back that and try for it. Vertika asks, what should I pursue after my BTech, MS, MTech, or MBA? I answered this question a lot of about this in some bit of it in the context of the MBA versus MIM. It would very much depend on the context and what is it that you want to do, further down. If you're not clear, if you are confused, which is, I assume that's why you're asking the question. Whenever we are confused, what we need is we need to get more clarity. In fact, one of the reasons, obviously the reason we are confused is because we don't know which is the right choice to make or the right decision to make. And we define right as, if I do this, it will get me something that I want, or it will guarantee me something. It's more important, not get me something, it will guarantee that, I will get that something that I want. We want to ensure, minimize the risk as much. We want to ensure that we have taken a good decision. It will, just more guaranteed. So for that, you just need to lessen your confusion, which means you need to find out a little more or a lot more about these three options that you're talking about. You're talking about MTech, MBA, and MS, right? So as a tool, what could be useful? It's like something we call a decision matrix. Right? It's very simple. It just has a fancy name. You make 3 columns. You put all these 3 options into that MS, MTech, MBA, and start answering questions around, the key questions for each of them, in terms of, the number of years of study, the amount of money that will go, you will spend in getting, I'm sure finance may be a factor, even if it's not a factor, put that down. Look at the kind of career options which each of these offer. Look at the kind of roles. Talk to people who have done MS and are working somewhere or doing something on their own. Talk to people who have done MTech and talk to people who have done MBA. Talk to at least a few people from each set, right? At least 4 or 5. Get some idea. Get all the information. When you do this process of fact finding and research and getting to know a bit more, you will see that the confusion level comes down in your own mind. You will start getting clarity. From 3, it may become 2. You will know, 1 may get eliminated. Then you may have 2, you're left in a dilemma. And then you start finding out. Unfortunately, what many of us don't even, I didn't do it, when I was your age, and I'm sure a lot of youngsters don't do. We think the answer, we should know the answer by magic, by itself. We should be knowing whether we want to do MS, MTech, or MBA. 90% of the cases, it's not so. We need more data because we don't know what they mean, what they signify, what are the, what will lead into. We don't have enough data. That's why it's so much confusion. Just go out and get that information. Talk to people. Again, I'm at the cost of sounding like I add this thing for the Fair and Lovely Career Foundation. They also have guidance, so counseling, this thing and guidance. You can also take a test. I think I saw that. I'm sorry, I haven't gone very detail into that, but I've seen, and I was very impressed with the comprehensiveness of the what they are offering. They are not just offering courses; they are offering the backward integration in terms of helping you decide, giving you some kind of test, and that you can take to get more data about yourself and your preference. They are doing something in the forward, etc. So do go to that site, see what is it. Approach them. I don't know if it will help in this kind of decision making, but think, yeah, and there are a few other sites. They have some psychometric which you can take, which helps you to understand yourself better. Even others could do that. How can I manage a professional degree like CA and BCom together? The exams clash all the time. I have very little to say about what can you do with the exam clashing date, right? It's a very practical difficulty. I don't know. I really don't have an answer to that. It depends on the college. I don't know if your college is amenable. I don't know how to manage that part. But if you, from what I understand, the CA exam you could take a little later also. As in, you can give it after 6 months. So if that helps from the exam clashing, you could keep deferring or staggering the CA. I guess the college examination you cannot really do much with. I don't know if your question also means in terms of your bandwidth, in terms of managing both and studying for both. Right? If that is the thing, I have a lot of suggestions for that, but I will try and stick to a few. So I'm assuming you're talking about also how to manage your bandwidth and in terms of your energy and your ability to study two courses at the same time. I know CA is also very tough. First, hats off to you. That's great that you're attempting both of it together. And I know very few people are able to actually do that and clear the CA exam along with graduation. When I was in college, and that was considered a really big deal to have cleared CA along with graduation. So, but yeah, let's look at how we can increase your energy levels, your bandwidth, your the mind space. There are a lot of techniques of well-being, personal well-being that you can adopt that will really help you to do that and really have a great impact. I don't know whether you're already into fitness and exercise, etc. It's extremely important. So get into a exercise regime. Do something, whatever it works for you. Running, gymming, yoga, regular dance class or something. But you need to exercise. That's going to increase your capacity a lot more. That's one, energy level. Second, do take up meditation. Phenomenally will help you in being able to bring focused attention so that whatever that you are doing in X number of time, you can do it in X minus Y number of time. Amount of time. So take up meditation, nothing like it. So if you are really managing two complex, difficult pieces together, two or more, do meditation. Take the time out for that every day. That will really increase your bandwidth for the rest of the things in life. I've been working as a marketing professional and I have 2 years of experience, but now I don't want to do this job. What should I do? Okay. What do you want to do? That's the first question, right? And it's not easy to answer. I agree. That's the reason we're putting it in this forum. You may not know what are the things that you are interested in, right? And There are so many options out there right now. What I can suggest for you is, one, I'm going to repeat a little bit of what I said earlier. It's okay to, move in the initial years of the career. In fact, not just okay, I think it's really great because you'll get diverse experiences. So if there is some other opportunity in front of you in an area, which you're fairly interested in, I would say let's go take that up, work on that for 1 or 2 years, and see how you feel about that. Right? If there's nothing like that, obviously the whole world is an oyster. Is okay as an opportunity basis, but it doesn't help you to get to specifics. So from that, you need to shortlist. Maybe create a long list, right, of 10, 20 things that you may like to do, areas you may like to work upon. From that, you then kind of come to another, do a round of thing and do a short list. Again, what will help you in this is to think about three things, I would say. One, think about times in your life where you have been most energized. Even when you are in the marketing job that you are doing, what are the times that you were most energized, you felt most inspired, motivated, loved doing what you were doing, or you saw somebody doing something and you thought, oh, that is great, and you were inspired by that. Write that down and see what is it that they were doing, what is it you were doing. That will give you a clue as to where your energies lie, where your interest lies, where your motivation lies, what gets your juice flowing, right? That will give you a clue. The second thing you could do is you take the same question, right, and talk to a few people around you from diverse roles and industries. I think role is it's an issue for you, right? I don't want to do the marketing part. So talk to a few other people in different roles in your own organization and find out what the kind of job they do, what are the kind of challenges they face, what the kind of problems they deal with day in, day out, what do they feel satisfied by, or what is the thing that their role is giving them, and see if any of that resonates with you. That's the second thing you can do. You have to go and find out more, get more information for yourself to get clarity. You cannot be staying and being in the same place that you were without bringing in new thoughts and perspectives and information to yourself. I'm hoping to move. Without doing that, you can't move. So you have to do that. So you just have to find out ways of doing that. The third thing you could do is you could go to, you could do some psychometric tests. There are various tests in many schools, even started even at the 11th, 12th level. There are tools like MBTI and other career aptitude tests. Various forums offer it. I think even Fair and Lovely offers something like that. The Career Foundation offers it. You could take some tests to kind of understand yourself a bit better and see what are the kind of areas that interest you. These are the three things I can suggest that help you figure out. Okay, I think I'll try and answer a little faster. I think you're getting close to the 1 hour. Preeti is asking, I want a job to improve my financial condition. Absolutely, which is worse in present time, okay, but I have no idea what to do. And the next question, I'm a homemaker living in Gorakhpur with my husband and 2 kids. I'm a home tutor also. What else can I do to? So I'm going to take 17 and 18 together because they're similar. I'm going to give a very prescriptive answer, right? You are trying to figure out what is it that you need to be doing. One, in both cases, first case to improve the financial condition, and in second case, you want to add on to it, so you want to do something, which definitely means that you have to skill yourself in an additional area. You have to learn something different and new. And when you are in such a situation, having a resource that will very clearly identify the opportunities for you, really tell you these are the things available, there's somebody to guide you, you can engage in, you can learn something specific, and then they can, and then it can help you to move forward. That's really helpful, I have found. So in my field, that what I do, my company focuses on helping leaders with leadership, developing effective leadership practices. So when I work with young leaders, our program is very, very specific and very clear cut. So these are the 5-6 things, foundational things first you must work upon. Do these things first. Then we look at, you'll get to one level of, excellence in your leadership, and then you look at the next level. So that really helpful for the participants then, because they know these are the first 3 things I need to fix first. So in similar way, when you are in this situation, I think having a set of options very clearly laid out in front of you, a path in front of you to choose from is really helpful, I would say. Otherwise, you will never get out of this bind. So do go to this site, the Fair and Lovely Career Foundation. I'm again referring to it because I have not really gone to those, similar sites myself, because I had kind of, decided what I want to do 10 years ago. And I'm sure there are many other sites like that. Please Google for that also. Which are offering. But I found this very good. So it has about 20 career options. You can look at that. I'm sure there are counselors who will help you. If you have a chat with them, there must be some number you can call up and talk. That will really help you. And they may also give you an indication of the kind of remuneration or kind of income you can expect from each stream. And they have fantastic. I was so happy to see even the engineering courses, and right from to stylist to fashion design, range of courses. So I would suggest you just go to that site. Thank you for your time, Gauri, says Adi. Thank you so much, Adi, for listening in. How does one move successfully from academic disciplines like medicine to more intuitive disciplines like social media? Okay. Okay. I think I have answered some bit of it earlier. People have asked about them wanting to move out of the current function. So you just have to engage in that area that you are interested in more and more and more. You have to equip yourself more into that by choosing whatever is the opportunities available. If you are looking at social media, for example, take up. First, you equip yourself. You could enroll yourself in an online course around whichever area of social media. It's again huge that you're interested in. There are lots of free online courses available. So I don't know if you're already technically aware and you have the knowledge and skills and you're looking to move, or I don't know. If you're not, then equip yourself first. That's one. Second is take up internships. It doesn't matter if they are free internships, right? Take up projects. Offer your skills. There are lots of startups and companies galore now who want to create a presence for themselves in the social media, etc., etc., etc. But they don't. Neither do they have the capability, nor do they have the resource, nor the financial resource to pay somebody for that work. But it's a great win-win for both of you. If they will be able to offer you the platform to try. And it's a live actual platform. So take up internships, take up projects, do pro bono. Pro bono is for free, pro bono work in this area. Once you just ask them for a certificate or a commendation at the end of it so that it can go into a portfolio, right? So build up a portfolio like that, do some 8 and 12, like that. And as you keep doing, even your own knowledge and your own confidence capability will improve. You'll understand that better. The second thing, the second thing you need to do is also read a lot about that area that you're interested in. Right? Read the latest research. If you're not the reading kind, hear podcasts, watch videos. There's a huge amount of, there's no dearth of content out there. Whatever you want to do, you can do. You want to learn about, you can learn about. So do that. Once you build this kind of a portfolio for yourself, then you can start going out and seeing whether you can actually get a remunerative job in that area. I hope that that has been of help, some help. Nidhi asks, hello Gauri, I'm a content writer and write articles on demand. Recently, I also observed myself good in guiding and helping ladies in their personal problems. Excellent. Can I make this as my profession? Where can I apply as a psychologist or a counselor? Work from home. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. That's really nice. That if you're being able to help somebody and you have created impact and really had some good effect for them, and it's a great profession to be in. You could do a. I don't think you can apply as a psychologist or a counselor straight away without a technical skill, without a technical certification. Definitely not a psychologist also. I think, and then a counselor. I think you could as a counselor, but they would anyway. There are organizations, but they will give you training for that, which is great, I suppose. There are quite a few voluntary organizations, NGOs, which work in the field of mental health, where you could approach and you can also Google for them. That's fine, but I know the top of the mind a few names that would come to me. One is Sanjeevani. That's one name. It's a very old organization. So you could approach them, just Google for them, approach them. They will give you certain training and you could work as a counselor with them. I know many people who have done that just after college. They've done that for a few years and then they went on to the other things which they wanted to do. So, but like Sanjeevani, I'm sure there are many other organizations. So you can Google for that and look at that. The other option is you could also go in for a coach certification. You can look at that. You can again Google for it. You can coach certification that you can work from home. You could work as a life coach, and you could help people around with their the challenges that they are facing. So you can Google for these two. Manisha Chandra asks, I'm having trouble getting a job because I have a 4.5-year-old gap. 4.5-year gap. So I'm confused to what to choose. I'm confused over getting my degree complete first or do a supplementary IT course along with it. I'm assuming the same person is continued with that because the first one there is no question, it's just a statement. I don't know what to answer. Yeah, but I'm assuming the same person. If you have a limited bandwidth and you cannot do both at the same time, then I would suggest get your degree first. Focus on that. Do that well. Do that really well, and then you can do IT. But if you have the bandwidth, you have the time, then you can also do an online certification courses alongside doing your degree, and you can and you can complete both in a similar time frame. Right? One thing, but that I would earnestly recommend or suggest is whatever you're doing, don't look at it as मेरे को ये करना है क्योंकि मेरे को और कुछ ना जॉब चाहिए hence that I'm compelled to do this, and do it out of complete willingness, as that you are adding on to yourself as a human being, that you are learning something, and everything that I learn is going to make me grow that much more. And that happens when you really put your 100% into that learning and say, get curious about whatever is it that you're learning. Read a lot of things around it. Find out a little more. There's lots of content on them. Engage yourself fully in the learning of that. So even if you're doing a degree course, do it well. Get great grades. Apply yourself. See, marks have become a very badnaam kind of a term. But actually, what they really indicate or meant to indicate was how much you have applied yourself, how much of yourself have you engaged fully in the subject that you are trying to learn, right? It's an indicator of that. Though it has the exam, the way it is right now and all, it's a different thing, but you don't have to let that bother you. You learn well. Whatever you do, engage yourself well. Give your 100%. Do it joyfully. That I'm doing this. I'm adding on to myself. I am growing as a consequence of that. And think about what you are learning. And when you do that, that's really see the change that comes in you, see the kind of confidence that comes in you, see the kind of the level of self-confidence and the surety that you have. That will make a great difference. Then things will, you will start getting, I'm not saying you will not have further questions, but you'll be able to figure out a little better. I'm a mother of 3 kids. I've been a teacher 11 years back for primary school, but how to work in school again? Okay. If you're wanting to look at same teaching the same classes, etc., yeah, then I think the one thing you need to do is you need to just start applying to schools, right? So apply to whatever the schools in your location, in your area that you want to, that you think there may be an opportunity. That is one. But second, importantly, and I have talked about this in in different contexts, but a similar thing. I'm going to keep repeating this to death. Is start equipping yourself. If 11 years ago you have taught and in between you have not engaged in the field of learning or teaching, things have changed a lot, right? A lot of research and understanding and methodologies and frameworks have come in the field of learning. So first understand that, read about it, read what is the latest, things which is schools are implementing, where education system is going. So equip yourself a bit more. And the third aspect is, of course, I don't know if you had a teaching degree when you taught 11 years ago. So if you didn't do that. If you have the degree, look at doing a post-graduation, which will give you a certification that will put you on a better footing when you go to schools and apply. These are the things I can suggest. Post-graduation or 2 years of UPSC coaching? Pujita is asking. Okay. It would depend on what the UPSC coaching involves. If it is, if there is a contact sessions, or if it is all just self-studying, a lot of it would depend on that. So I'm just going to share with you the tenet I feel is important, or the basic principle I feel is important. And PG also, I don't know if you're looking at a full-time PG in terms of going to a college and having this thing, or you're looking at a distance learning kind of where you at home and studying. What I feel is important is whatever you choose to do, don't let go of opportunities for interaction and experiential learning. Actually engaging with people, with situations, and actually learning from that. So whatever you choose, see what is the way it is getting delivered, right? And second, look at what are the other ways that you could you could develop yourself. So UPSC, if I'm understanding, what the question is, if 2 years of UPSC coaching means you're just focusing on that, only on that and doing. I would say add a little bit more experience-based things where you're engaging with something, you're actually doing some project, right, and applying whatever you are learning, and then and develop yourself with more on that. So I do not think you need to dedicate complete 2 years to the exclusion of everything else to going for getting pushed for the UPSC exam. I'm sure the general knowledge, etc., all that works, right? That would apply. So along with them, maybe taking part in debates and speak, and trying out forums, etc. That would also really help. I don't know if you asked the question PG or UPSC. I don't know from what perspective you asked. Is it that even if you do PG, you're going to write the UPSC exam a couple of years down the line? If that's a perspective, then you need to look at your bandwidth. That's the last thing I would say. Whether you can manage both or not, because you obviously have to prepare for the exam a bit. Anyway. Ankita is saying, hello ma'am. Hello Ankita. I want to make my career in social work related field. Is journalism a good option if I'm also interested in this? Yeah, absolutely. Social field also requires people, who would, people from with the profile in journalism, definitely. So you could do a course in journalism. Yeah, so do the course in journalism, and you could apply for, for the NGOs, etc. I don't know how you want to go about it. You want to get a degree first or certification first, and then apply, or want to start working for an NGO and then parallelly do that. Again, look at the career foundation, parallel of this career foundation. What are the courses they have? They may have a course in journalism also. You could look at that and do that. Yeah, absolutely, it's a great option. I mean, doing both together and as marrying the two, yes, it's a great option. Okay. I have 5 years of experience. I really need to get a job as soon as possible. Tried a lot in every job site, but not got any response. What should I do? Please help. So, yeah. So what I understand from you're saying that you tried for a job in every job site is you're tried online. In that case, what I could suggest to you is try, actually approaching, talking to the people in your circle. Some seniors in the family you may know. You would know some seniors in other, friends of your senior members of the family, etc. Put the word, prepare a nice resume, which focuses on your strength, and talks about the experience that you have. Do that. Prepare that. And then send it out. Then you talk to people look for opportunities. Talk to people and look for opportunities, and then you will be able to, that's what I can suggest. Yeah. Just give me a second. I'm just going to have some water. Okay, Purvi is asking. Purvi is asking. I'm facing financial crisis. I'm facing financial crisis, but not getting how to improve it. I want a job, but I have no idea about it. Yeah. So I'm going to take this as the last question and wrap this up. So what I would suggest is, I'm very sorry that you're facing a crisis, and I understand that we all need something for financial independence. And when you don't have any clue on what is the job to go for, how to go about it, how to approach it, etc., what is very helpful, and which I found in my own case also, is if you have somebody or some resource that is very clearly spells out for you what are the various options that you have, and there is somebody to guide you in terms of taking decisions on that. What one stream may give you, what is the kind of income that stream will give you, what is the kind of career prospects after that, what is the amount of effort you need to put in, etc. And then it gives you and helps you to take decision across these five. The second aspect that will help you is they can also help you understand yourself a little more, and figure out what is the kind of area that you will be able to get most energized by, and you'll be able to put your best foot forward and give your 100% to, right? So there are a lot of psychometric tests which help us to decide, what is our area of aptitude, etc. Even the Fair and Lovely, one of the Career Foundation, Fair and Lovely, one of the co-organizers of this session, they have a fantastic site. So I did see that they offer psychometric tests that help people decide what is the thing they need to go in for. One, and they have a range of courses that will help you to skill yourself, equip yourself, so that you can go out on the job market and look for a job. So I would suggest, I think the first step you must take to get more clarity for yourself. You go to that site, the Fair and Lovely Career Foundation site. Look at the courses, call up the number if they have, usually having a number and an email, contact them. You can get to talk to a counselor, and then you will get, that idea. You need to equip yourself with information knowledge. So do that first. And then you will have a lot more options. And I'm sure you will find something, that will get you out of this crisis. All the very best to all of you. God bless. I'm going to sign off now because, the time is really up. It's been a great pleasure being here. Thank you so much.